Hello, students of class 10. Today I'm going to start with the work of glacier. What is a glacier? Glacier is actually a persistent body of dense ice that is constantly moving under its own weight. Okay, so we basically have three types of glacier. One is continental glacier. So, what is a continental glacier? The glacier means during the period of ice age the large continents are being covered by this ice and it remains for about 30,000 years, and at that point of the time means after the ice age gets over, the glacier of this continent means the glacier that is the ice that is covering those continent didn't melt down and the glacier still remains over there, and we are calling those continent as the continental glacier. Example of this is Antarctica and the Greenland. Next is we have mountain glacier. So what is a mountain glacier? The glacier that we generally finds or means generally found, or the glacier that generally occupies the top portion of a mountain or a valley, we are calling this as the mountain glacier or a valley glacier. Example of that, in our India, in the Karakorams there are many glaciers like Siachen, then Gangotri, etc. The last type of the glacier is the Piedmont Glacier. Okay, so what is a Piedmont Glacier? The Piedmont glaciers are those we generally found at the foothills of the mountainous region. These glaciers are formed by the union spreading of different types of the glaciers end, and basically we found this at the foothills of the mountainous region. Example of this are the Malaspina Glacier of the southeast Alaska. The next thing is that you need to know about is a snow line. So what is a snow line? Snow line actually is a line on a mountain or on the hill slopes, which forms actually the lower limit of the everlasting snow. Means after this limit the snow melts, and above this limit the snow remains throughout the year. So this is we known as the snow line. Next is an iceberg. Or what is an iceberg? The iceberg actually is derived from a Dutch word which literally means ice mountain. Okay, when the ice sheets or the large pieces of the glaciers that generally extends into this water, what happens, some portion of this ice sheets get breaks down and floats into the water like a mountain of ice, and we call this as the iceberg. Okay, next is a crevasse. What is a crevasse? For example, this is a glacier or a mountain glacier. The crevasse is actually a very deep crack or the fracture inside a fracture that is found in a glacier on an ice sheet. Okay, these crevasses are very dangerous because sometimes most of means maybe sometimes it is being covered with the ice, but the ice don't get deposited into this fracture or in this crevasses, and the result of that it becomes very deadly for the people or for the mountaineer people. Next is a bergschrund. So what is a bergschrund? The bergschrund is actually very similar like the crevasse, but there is a difference between bergschrund and the crevasse is that on the high mountains sometimes the cracks are formed on the glaciers. Okay, and it opens because of the unequal movement of this solid ice mass, and it opens up on the head of the glacier and the ice breaks away and roll backward. Okay, so this is known as the Bergschan. This Bergschan is in the German word which means mountain and or a crack. Okay, now I'm coming to the point, work of the glacier, or the main topic, how the glacier works. Like the work of the river, the glacier also works through three processes. One is the erosion, then we have the transportation, and next one is the deposition. Okay, so the erosion, we all know it's actually wearing or moving away of the things. It works in the two process. One is by plucking. So what are this plucking is? The plucking is the process by which a glacier pushes or plucks up or tears down a block of the rock which lies at the base of this glacier. For example, this is the glacier, this is the base of the glacier. By the process of plucking, this glacier actually breaks a rock or plucks up the rock. Okay, next process of erosion is the abrasion. So what is an abrasion? Abrasion means it is actually wearing down of the rocks that lie beneath the glacier. Means if the rock is lying beneath the glacier, it does, by the process of abrasion, the glacier is going to wear down this rock, wear down this piece of the rock. Next process is the transportation. What is this transportation? Is when the glacier slides down from the when the glacier actually moves from the mountain, it picks up all the rocks that are present or that falls on its mountain path or in the path of the flow, and with that along with that it just picks up those rocks and move further down of this mountain course, and thus transport the rock particles from one place to another. Deposition means the glacier, whatever the material that the glacier is plucking up from the upper portions of from the peak portions of this mountain, and this transport those rock particles downward and ultimately deposit those particles at the foothills region of the mountain or the hill, and this is how the glacier carries out its deposition process. Okay, so this is the end of this video. I'm going to continue with the different landform feature of the glacier in the next video, and thank you everybody.